Oi, mate! You see that bag of chips over there? Yeah, you see that? It looks pretty dang good, doesn't it? I mean, go ahead, open it. Crack it open. Have a handful or something. I mean, do you really want to sit with your edge? Do you really want to drink your sugar-free tea and eat your gluten-free crumpets? Is that what you're gonna do? Nah, I think you've done enough good things. I think it's time you reward yourself with a nice salt and vinegar chip bag. I think it'll taste very good. Come on, just give in, mate. It'll be very delicious. You won't regret it. I think you'll enjoy it and you'll be very happy. Yeah, mate. Do you really want to sit with your edge? Do you want to sit down with it, have a tea party, drink your sugar-free tea and your gluten-free crumpets? Do you really want to do that, mate? Or do you want to dig into your sea salt and vinegar chips, mate? Very good, very delightful.
If that scenario didn't ring any bells for you, you may as well just turn this video off now because this video is not for you. That video is the scenario for people who are trying to lose weight. They have this plan in mind of what they're gonna do, what they're gonna eat, and then here comes the temptation. And not only do we have that voice in our head, the thoughts in our head that are tempting us, but then we have all the people around us who are offering us food, trying to talk us into having just a bite. So I wanted to go over the best way to overcome temptation like that so it's not a white knuckle battle, so that it is like just who you are and what you do. It's a normal part of your life and it doesn't feel like you're fighting with yourself all the time. So I created a video a while back called How to Create Your Plan. So if you guys haven't watched that video, I highly recommend you go watch that video first before you continue any further, because in that video I talk about the plan and how to create the plan. I read a book called Never Binge Again, and the guy said, who wrote it, it should have been called Never Overeat Again. And he says in that book, which I thought was so good, so perfect, is that we need to put our pig in a cage. And I'm going to do a video on this book. Actually, I'm going to give you guys a brief rundown of this book because it's so good. I'll probably make that my next video. But he talks about putting your pig in the cage, which is all those thoughts, all those voices that are constantly tempting you. And the constructs of the cage is our plan. And so if you don't have a clear-cut food plan that you've made far in advance, at least 24 hours in advance, well, okay, I'll fudge a little, at least the morning prior, or the morning, the day of, then it's gonna be, you're gonna have the battle. It's gonna be a lot harder to fight that battle every single day. But if you have a plan in place, you have your, I always eat this food, I never eat that food, I will eat this food if I'm hungry. I have a treat day and I only eat this kind of food on my treat meal. So not the whole day, but on the treat meal. Or I only eat this kind of food when I go fishing with my husband. I only go out with friends like once or twice a week, and this is the only thing I'll eat when I go out with my friends, whatever. You make your own plan. Everybody's so different, and what works for me may not work for you. And it depends on our level of busyness too. We can't all have home cooked meals. So you have to make your own plan. So watch my video on. Some people may think plans are too strict, but I say all of us have some kind of plan in our life. Like when we drive up to the gas pump and we put gas in our car, our plan is to pay for the gas. We don't have a battle in our brain, should I pay for it or shouldn't I pay for it? We already have that construct in place. There's no willpower needed. There's no battle that's wearing us out. When we go to the gas pump, should we or shouldn't we pay for it? We just pay for it. We all have these kinds of plans in our life. Like if we are in a bank and we're really poor, we're not enticed or battling in our brain whether we should rob the bank or not. If we go to a restaurant and we see that the tip was left on the table and the waitress hasn't picked it up yet, we're not going to pick up the tip. There's no battle involved there. We just don't do it. And it gets easier and easier and easier when you make your food plan. So at first it is a battle, okay? I want to let you guys know that. It doesn't start out easy because you're carving a new pathway in your brain, a new river, so to speak. And to fight not to go down that old river, there's gonna be a battle. But just know when you're fighting that battle, it's not permanent, it's temporary. And one day, if you stay consistent and you don't heap dirt into that new pathway you're trying to build constantly, it will be deeper than the old pathway. And the old pathway will be completely covered up again. All the dirt from your new pathway will be heaped into your old pathway. And once you've identified your plan, which is the biggest part of all this, now you can identify those tempting voices, those tempting thoughts. Or as this guy put it who wrote that book, you can identify your pig squeals. I love that so much because, I mean, literally every time you hear a thought, you can say, oh, that's just a pig squeal. Anytime you want anything off the plan, you can say, oh, that's just pig slop. So I don't know about you guys. It doesn't offend me. It may offend some people. So if it offends you, don't read the book. You can turn off this video if that offends you, because that's, I feel, is such an amazing approach. And I totally respect you if you don't think it's an amazing approach, okay? But I'm kind of that way. I like to personify them as something derogatory, okay? Because they're trying to do derogatory things to us. So that's why I really like the term that this guy used in that book of pig squeals and putting your pig in the cage. So check out the book, and I'm gonna do a brief video on the book and what I got from it because I loved it so much, and I want you guys to hear more about it so you'll maybe pick it up and read it. This is not sponsored, by the way. I love the book so much, and it goes along with everything that I've already learned and that I already teach, but it gives you more of the why behind the what, and it helps you to figure out how to organize your thoughts, organize your brain. I like to think of all of this stuff that I'm doing in my journey as making a new habit, becoming a new person that does things a completely different way than the old me did. And when you do something like this, you're building what they call a neural pathway in the brain. And so an old neural pathway already exists and it's dug really deep. It's a very deep pathway. And so now what we got to do is we got to carve a path off of that or away from that old pathway. And I like to use this analogy because, and it's more than just an analogy, it's for real. Like science says that this is real. But I think of it instead of if I eat this, it's going to make me fat, or if I eat this, somebody will think this of me or that of me. I like to think of it as if I eat the food that's off my plan, I'm going to be heaping dirt into that new neural pathway that I'm trying to build, and I'm going to deepen the old neural pathway. And so it's like I'm doing brain surgery on myself, literally, without even touching the inside of my brain, just by being consistent, by staying on the path. And then if I do accidentally give in and go off the plan, that doesn't give me an excuse to heap more and more and more and more dirt onto the new pathway that I built. But it gives me more ambition to stop right there and go back to the new neural pathway, get back on the path again. And I love this because you can do this with anything in life. You can do this with any habit. TV, watching way too much TV, like I say in all my videos, all the habits, too much spending, whatever your habit du jour is. So I hope this helps you guys. And if you have any questions, please comment below. I always love your questions. And if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. And if you want more videos, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified each time a video comes out. All right, you guys, bye. Have a blessed week.